What is there left to do? Today is Good Friday, the saddest day of the liturgical year. The table has been cleared. The Lord's Supper, his last supper, is done. The handoff has happened by torchlight in the garden for a bag of silver. Our security has turned into fear. Peter has denied, and then he ran. The hungry tomb has whet its appetite, and its mouth has been rolled shut. And we are left here, left asking, what is there left to do? Just last night, Jesus gave us a simple task and a new commandment. Wash each other's feet. He showed us. Love one another. He told us. But he is gone now. What good do these rites and tasks do in the face of all this sadness, all of this longing? In the face of the cruel world outside, the world that put to death an innocent man, a world that seems so spiritually sick. This night, we stare into the spirituality of humanity. Tonight, we stare into the spirituality of ourselves. I find, as I hear the Passion of our Lord read, I always ask myself the same question. Could I have done that? Would my voice have been another voice in the crowd caught up in the mass hysteria? Or perhaps worse, would my voice stand silently as the events unfolded, paralyzed by fear? Would I have been brave enough to follow Jesus to the cross? But now there is nothing to do. Tonight, we find no one to follow. Tonight, there is no rite or ritual to say. Who would you pray to at the funeral of Jesus? To what house of worship can I go, knowing that the one heralded as the Messiah is laying in the tomb? The stone rolled closed, and the wounds on his hands remain open. This night, saturated in blood and saturated in deep spiritual longing, this night is guttural. It's primal. It seeks connection to the truest part of our human spirit. The sound of silence this night is the sound of the soul asking why. It is the sound of all of creation groaning without an answer. It is the sound of time stopping. What is there left to do? In this death, we see our own. We are reminded that the hunger of the tomb is never fully satisfied. We can ask why. We can ask ourselves the question, are we willing to follow Jesus to the cross and beyond? We can say thank you as in this death a promise is made. In this death, creation and beyond are changed forever. I'm spiritual, but not religious. I hear people say this all the time, and on this evening, the phrase makes sense to me. Sitting on this mountain, watching this story unfold, my spirit asks questions beyond the scope of the religious rituals that I know. My spirit seeks connection. It yearns to relate to the humanity beyond the rituals. As I find a stone rolled between me and Jesus. It seems like it's always one or the other, spiritual but not religious, or religious but not spiritual. We have the connection, the longing to know, but nothing to lead our actions. Or we become lost in the actions, doing the ritual, but in the tasks, we forget the connection. If only we could have both. If only the stone was gone. If only the Lord's Supper was ahead of us, and we could celebrate the feast of God with our Lord, with all the questions that we have now. If only Jesus was here. Jesus would know the answer. Jesus could show us the way. Jesus could connect the dots for us, connecting the security of last night to the fear of tonight. Jesus did always know just what to say. Oh, to hear his voice again. Oh, to be in the company of the disciples, those who are like us, both fallen and forgiven. Those who misunderstood Jesus and bickered with one another, just like we do. Oh, if only to be in the company of one another right now. If only to be in the company of Jesus. If only to have that opportunity. Surely we would never take it for granted again. Surely we would cherish the time we have with Jesus and the time we have with one another. If only we could get there. If only Jesus were here. If only we could walk up the aisles, singing the hymns, praying together, and being together. If only we could find that life. But tonight we see that a stone is rolled in the way. Maybe that day will come. Maybe we will find our way. Maybe we will find the way. Maybe we'll do so through the rites that we call religious. Or perhaps it'll be through the reflections and longing that we like to call spiritual. But either way, it will be through faith. It will be through faith and driven by the hope that we will see Jesus again. And he will show us all how to do both. how to be spiritual and religious. Amen.